Hello. Good morning, everyone. How's everyone doing? Welcome to another session with your girl, by Lou. So, as usual, we know it takes some minute for some people to have this notification that we are already live or we are live. So, we always give few minutes for those who have to connect, and those who do the amazing job of not just wanting to benefit alone, to share with their loved ones, to tag their loved ones to do that amazing job. So yes. I'm going to give about 3 minutes for those who are doing those amazing things to do and those who are waiting for the notification to join. So while we are doing that, enjoy this piece of nice music. No copyright infringement intended for the song we play. So if you join, as you join, let's know where you're watching us from. Oh,
Give them for Jesus here. Let me hear you. Everybody put your weight.
no copyright infringement intended. So that's not again.
What a new generation.
Oh
God is
yes.
raising. Find boys well of Jesus.
Ah.
Find us well of Jesus. People well of Jesus. What a new generation. God is raising. Find boys well of Jesus.
So we encourage everybody that's joined, do your best to share or some people.
We're a new generation. God is raising. Find us well of Jesus. Find us well of Jesus. People will love Jesus. We're a new generation. God is raising. Find us well of Jesus. We're a new generation. God is raising. Find us well of Jesus. I love you. I love you.
Hey.
God is raising from us well of Jesus.
Hey.
People will love Jesus. I am one of them.
Ooh.
This anointing where Jesus don't stand.
No copyright infringement intended for this song. So let's know where you're watching us from.
I am one of them.
Hey.
This anointing where Jesus don't stand. You don't go past me, but you don't go past me at all. I am one of them.
Bye.
Anointing where Jesus don't stand. You don't go past me, but you don't go past me at all. Everybody, I am one of them. I am one of them. This anointing where Jesus don't
So we encourage everybody that you're waiting, do your best to tackle find a loved one who you want to keep peace of her light shining. Hey. Ooh. 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 Happy new month, Emma. How you doing today? So the song end we start straight away guys today, don't wasting of time. Hope everybody can get me clearly, guys. People will love Jesus. Generation, God is mercy. Ooh. This anointing where Jesus does it. He don't go past me, he don't go past me at all. Sing, I don't wanna play more. I wanna play. This anointing where Jesus does it. He don't go past me, he don't go past me, he don't go past me at all. I'm a monkey number. Hey. How's everyone doing today? So as you join, let's know where you're connecting us from. So as you said, for those who are already here, that as the song is stopping or it's ending, we're starting right away. People will love Jesus. This anointing where Jesus gone. Pass me by logo. Let me hear you say it again. I am a primary. Okay, good morning, everyone. How is everyone doing? How are we all doing? Happy new month to everyone. They said February is a month of love. I don't know. What do you call February? What month is February for you? Let me know. So, and again, welcome in for all those who are joining us or maybe watching our videos for the first time. You're welcome to this family. It's all about shining a light, and you know, you can either survive the world or you give up, right? There are so many options though. But generally, you know, things in a world that keeps changing, in an environment that keeps changing, there's what they call survival of the fittest. And so it means some people, though we're in the new year, maybe drown or some people keep shining. So we have chosen as light to be brightest of lights, like to just keep shining. There's some people here who want to keep shining. Because personally, I want to keep shining. Like where you say there's a casting down, indeed, I want to see a lifting up. And it's not easy. If you choose to be like me, you know, you have to think different. You have to do things differently. So, guys, let me know in the comment section that everybody that as you connect, you can clearly hear me. So, the comment section is open for everyone. And also, if you want to join me on the screen, you can always let me know or let us know in the comment section. It's not for specific people. This is a family that is open for everyone of us, and we all come here to share, to the say iron sharpen that iron, right? So yes, we come here to keep our light shining. We come here to be an encouragement to each other. So there's no person that knows it all. We are our works in progress. So yes, let's know and be sure you can get us very, very clearly. Are there some people still fasting? I know this new year or you're trying a couple of new things and I hope it only gets better. So that's why I'm very concerned to be sure everybody can get me clearly because I'm trying a couple of new stuff happening year and day. So and let me know again, everybody who's connected, please in the comment section where you're watching us from. That is the only way we can connect with you. As you see, I'm still winding up with my sharing of the stuff. So, guys, if you didn't hear from me today, if you didn't, for those who always wait for me to share, I'm sorry. Just make sure you follow the page, and I hope by now everybody definitely has gotten the link. So, also a couple of changes um for the time, as we saw as well this year. We have tried becoming 1 hour later. So this is new time for those who are using Eastern time. It's 1:30 p.m. For those who are using Central time. It's 12:30, and those who are connecting from Africa, it's going to be 7:30. I hope I got the times covered this time around. So just if you were following the previous time, just make sure you have this written somewhere, have this on your calendar, and you set your alarms at this time so that you don't miss, you don't come late. Because I've noticed that since we changed time, we've had few people connected. And I know it may be late for some people, most of the people who are in the Asia, and also maybe some people may be in quiet stuff. So, but I'm just praying that one with this time we understand that people also watch the videos later. So that's why for now we're going to stick to this time based on my schedule, based on other stuff I have to do before this live session. So today we have an amazing topic, and I don't know if I'm the only person excited to have this topic, have us discuss on this amazing topic. So one thing for sure also we are this year we are going to have sessions shorter if you have just me, unless when we have a guest. So we're going to be having our sessions for just about an hour as we used to have it before we added the 30 minutes to 1 hour, like additional 1 hour, which I felt it was a lot. So this year, make sure you're coming on time because you're not going to be waiting or saying that, oh, let's play songs for 30 minutes for people. No, no, no. You're moving forward. Time is precious. So, going straight to amazing discussion for today. As I said at the beginning, to me, I want to keep my light shining and also have to be realistic to say life is not always going the way you want to, but what do you do? Do you give up or you look for means to survive? And I'm so honored today to have one of my coaches calling me this morning. I'm like, okay, I see God really wants me to talk on this amazing topic. So before we proceed, it's also important we take our time to thank God for His grace that has brought us thus far, for His grace that has made us to be here at this time, and for the amazing family we have here. So our topic today is how to unlock the ability to get more wins, and as you saw, I said it's basically how do we avoid or eliminate quenchers. January is a time that for those who are really spiritual, people take out time to have directions. People take out time to know what they have to do. Not everybody just follow the crowd. I know this is another year that some people will just be following the crowd and do what the majority is doing. But people who are intentional don't do that mistake, of course. People who are intentional take out time to know what they have to be doing and focus on that. And knowing what you have to be doing comes as for those who have not been watching us, we encourage you to go back and watch our previous video. Much love to you to Big Bro. Thank you for connecting. So for those who have not been watching that video, so that we don't repeat ourselves, that's one of the reasons we're reducing the time so that we'll go straight to what we have to discuss each day. We encourage each person that this new year, for you to be able to know what you have to do specifically, you have to re-ask yourself some questions like, really, who am I? Why am I on earth? That's what I mean. It's not like I'm not talking just, oh, I'm a biochemist, I'm a biotech, I'm a biotechnologist, oh, I'm a nurse, I'm a doctor. No, I'm not talking about those areas. I'm talking about who are you? Why are you on earth? Like what specifically were you created for? You know, once you have that answer again, if you've been asked, I mean, ask again. So January is that time that a lot of people are intentional, people are purpose-driven, people who are visionaries, take a time to really ask themselves, like reflect about questions like that, like really, why am I on this earth? What am I doing? And again, why did God make me or bring me into this amazing new year? Some people were not able to make it. Why am I here? So until you're able to answer these two first questions, then you can have that, or the third part of what am I supposed to be doing. So in that being said, I understand that those who are in that intentional journey definitely have taken our time to have directions. Like that's why some people had the fast. Some people maybe have been fasting for 21 days, which is a common fast. That is Daniel's fast. Some people may have been fasting for 3 days, Esther fast. Some people have fasted for 40 days, like Jesus. So whatever fast you've taken, I noticed that I have to be real all the time, right? I noticed that generally this January a lot of people are spiritual, but by February, March, you start going back to the same old ways, the same old things. Imagine you've talked to God about the things you want, but I wonder if God had even responded to all of us, because the reality is talking to God is different from hearing from God. It's easy for, oh, God, give me this. God, this is what I want this year. Many times we tell God the things we want, but how often do we listen to what God is telling us? So that's what when I talk about light, the truth is we focus on outcome and not the process, and I don't do that. So I have to be real that before we talk about light, we need to understand the source of that light. We need to understand what even activate that light. So spiritually, that's how people activate their lights each year. You see some people coming so energized, so motivated. It's not because of the motivational talks here and there, but it's because some people took a time to hear what God, the light God, and to have God shine His light on their path. So my question to everybody now, my first question to everybody connected. What do we think are some of the things that can limit us from shining this light? Yes, let me assume all of us have had that direction. Assuming, by the way, that we already have the direction of what we supposed to be doing this year, and you know what you have to be doing this year. It's an assumption, which of course I know is dangerous because so many people don't yet know. So, my question: what do you think can distract us from shining a light in those directions? Because definitely, if you are on the right lane, there's no congestion in your lane, which means your light will be evident. If you are driving on the right lane, there's no way cars will be coming continuously in the opposite direction. But you imagine you entering the road in the wrong lane. So many times we are doomed for so many reasons. So I want to hear from you. What do you think for those who are actually driving initially this year on the right lane, whose light are so bright, like you see them so energized? What are some of the things that can dim their light? So let's start from there. Let's start with those things that generally can dim a light. So today, some people are quiet, but I like definitely it will be a discussion and not a talk. So I encourage everybody who's active watching. Let's hear you in the comment section, and also, so I'm giving you guys a few minutes. Let's hear everybody talking in the comment section. Let's see everybody active. So by the way, as we if you look at lights as light, like every light, if you consider even the light of the phone, like seeing your phone on, for your phone to stay on, what do we need to do? We obviously need to recharge your battery, right? Continuously recharge your battery each time we see battery going down, if we have to keep our phones on. So I just want us to take our time. Thank you so much, bro. Sam Funny Love. Thank you so much. So each time you look at your phone, like my phone is on, and guess what? I have about 55%. So imagine I keep this phone on and I just keep using this phone for the next 3 days without charging it. What happens to the phone? Of course, we know the phone may not stay on. So, what am I trying to say? One of the things that is going to dim a lot of our lights. I know some people don't want to talk. Some people will always be in my inbox like, Lucy, just go on. but, but it's fine. So I'm going on. Of course, as I said, this if for us to stay to 1 hour, it means we have to keep to time. So okay, thank you, boy. I see my big bro Tico giving me some big ups. He said one thing that may cause a light not to shine is when we ignore the source of light. Awesome. This is what I love, which is the word of God. Yes, I know. Sometimes we want to deviate from things that are obvious and we make things hard for ourselves. So just in my brother's voice or adding to his words, indeed, that is a good reason why some of our lights are not dim. We definitely can't control the light of any room without knowing where the switch is. Am I right? If you enter into a house, you want to put on the light of that house, what do you do first? You ask or you check or you look at the location where the switch is positioned. You turn it on, you turn it off. So if you turn it on, it's on. And if you want it off, you just go to that same switch and do the same thing. So that's why I said this generally this is a new year or it's still a new year, and some people have taken that amazing time to get to the source of light in order for them to shine their light. And some people may do that only in January and stop connecting or deviate or how can I say go away from that source. So imagine you're in the house and you want the light to be turned on, which is off. You know where the switch is. You decide to stay on your position. Will that light automatically come on without you touching the switch? So think about it. So definitely, today I'm specific about people shining their lights, and there's no way you can shine your light without knowing your source. So whoever your source is or whatever your source is, I just want to say the first thing I want everybody to take straight from this message of today is that for you to keep your lights shining, you need to identify your source. What keeps you active? What keeps you motivated? What keeps you going? What keeps you in your mission mode? We talked about survival mode, and I know some people didn't even get that go to that place or that position to reconnect to who they are and what they are doing because life happens to people. I get that, but how do you keep moving? That is the question. How do you keep moving? How do we all keep moving? Now, sometimes you can look at the things people post. You say, "Oh, this person's life is just easy. It's not like my own." Sweetheart, trust me. These people tell you story. You don't like to be in their position because I was just talking to one of my mentors this week, and that's somebody I know who has been consistent in business for the past 10 years. When I mean consistent, it's not like just doing this things. He has Zoom meetings before Zoom became Zoom that everybody knows. Every day, Monday to Saturday. The only day it doesn't work is Sunday. And I woke up this morning, he called me and I was just so blessed. And I just see this my source of this one of my activators. So I'm saying that I don't know what specifically motivates you. But what I want us today to take home is that no matter where you are, you need to know your source of light. You need to know your source of motivation, your source of strength. When you are weak, what gives you that strength? We all need to know it. Once you know it, the second thing we all want to do, so maybe someone should be typing for those who may not have patience to wait or listen to everything. Second thing we want to do is indeed stay connected to the source. You know, you may have that source, like for those who fast, in all honesty, I didn't grow up knowing to fast or wanting to fast, but the first time I learned to fast, and that's why I see me talking about fasting, those who are fasting or those who want to fast. I don't believe you should announce when you're fasting, but for teaching sake, we have to share that fasting is a good thing. Like the times of done it, the first thing I realized is that you get so motivated, like food, drinks, those things don't move you after you go through a fast. Like you don't really get controlled about those things, but so that makes you to think beyond the basics. That's something I know about fasting. It helps you to think beyond just food, clothes, water, drinks. So it's very essential for those who want to think beyond those things. For me, I'm going to say that. So fasting is one of those things that people do in order to stay connected. So I'm just giving an example of one of those things specifically we all can do to stay connected. For those whose source is God, my source is God. That's the highest place I get motivated. Once I stay rooted in God's word, what He tells me, what He wants me to do. He helped me not to be overwhelmed, not to be excited about things, not to try to do everything, but just to know that I have just little things to do, and that alone helps me a lot to stay focused. And to know that I am unstoppable. As you know, I'm Miss Remarkable and Unstoppable. For those who don't know now, you know. So of course, I have so many Goliaths who think they can dictate what they everybody should be doing, but of course, I don't follow those rules. So for me to remain remarkable and unstoppable, I definitely need a higher power, and that higher power for me is God, and that's why I definitely don't think I can go an hour without thinking about God. So that is something that we all can think about. As I said today, you're going ahead. So basically, I'll take a pause. I think I've been talking alone for some minutes, and I'm happy to see my brother connected in us. I just encourage everybody. Let's know where you're connecting and watching us from. Like it's a family. It's not a regular live sessions where people just come and talk to you what they're doing, the good things happening in their lives. But I want also to talk there's no good challenges, all those things, because that's what gets strained. Sometimes you sit and say, oh, this person is here, and the person does not go through what I'm going through. I want the person share that, oh, I'm going through that's something you get motivated, right? You get inspired. So we encourage everybody, take it as a family that let's know where you're watching from. Let's know your name and late. So Emmanuel from Turkey, thank you. So now the next question, you can see some people are active in the comment section. Let me know what are the different ways you use to recharge yourself? Because as we overwork ourselves, we think, we sleep. Some people think even when they're sleeping. I used to do that, but I'm grateful I had to learn that I take a day at a time. I do what I have to do that day, and of course take the next day at it. Oh, thank you, sis. Happy to have you with us. Awesome. So let's know, for everybody connected, please share with us in the comment section, what are your ways of recharging? Sometimes we all get overwhelmed, excited about things. How do you get recharged that you stay focused? Keep your light shining, just do what you're supposed to do. How do we do it? Oh my God. I'm happy I have my brother Tiku Apai doing an awesome job in the comment section. He says, impatient. So why do I read the comments? I'm reading the comments because I'm streaming on 3 platforms. I'm streaming on my profile that is brightest Glow for those who follow me on Facebook. I'm streaming also on my page or our page, Creative and Independent Minds, and also on YouTube. That is brightest light TV. So I encourage you, if you're not following me or following us on all these platforms, do so that you don't miss any content. You know, these messages comes at different times. So my brother says, impatience is another thing that may reduce the brightness of a light. Awesome. Some people set goals and work towards them and expect results in their own set time. I get you, impatient indeed. And when they don't see results as expected, they begin to reduce the effort. Oh my God. Guys, can you send some hearts to my big brother for that amazing contribution? Indeed, that's what it is. And that's why I said so many of us will focus on the results, we don't focus on the process. And somebody said in one of the posts I dropped, I asked a question this week, by the way, on my profile. As I said, I encourage you to follow us on all those different platforms, because we are not to entertain. We are here to empower. We are not an entertainers. So any message we send out is intentional, knowing that it may empower somebody and it encourage us. So I asked a question this week. I was just reflecting to me as a person though. when I posted that. I was reflecting to me as a person. I'm somebody who's entrepreneurial, if you know me in person, and somebody also like science. So how do I balance all these things, doing my things my way, my time? And I just realized that so many ideas that I've had, and because it didn't go expect, I know when you have an idea you expect you to have those results in like one day, 1 week, 1 month, 1 year, and after that time you start you don't have that result. What happened? As my brother said, when we set those with our own time, not depending on God, you've gone to God, for example, in January, God, tell me what you want to do. God is so specific. That's something I've learned with time. God is really specific. If you're the one who depend on God, trust me, if God gives you an assignment, you need to also ask God, when is this going to happen? But many times we don't do that. We tell God what we want. Eh? That's the thing we even do. We tell God what we want, when we want, how we want. And don't sit back to listen what God is saying. So indeed, impulsions is really something that dim our light. So we discourage ourselves because of our expectations. Somebody said this, that when your expectation is so high, it only leads to disappointment, and I totally agree with that. Like if you have very very high, it's good to be ambitious, but too ambitious is a problem. So he also said something that when we don't get the result, sometimes it's not like we are not even getting the result. When we don't get the result at a time, we become disappointed, which is not good, which of course tend to discourage us, right? When you're discouraged, you may stop doing that particular thing that God instructed you to do. So thank you so much, boy. I really appreciate that you shining your light in this place. I really, really appreciate that. So I encourage everybody, share with us, or is that some of us don't know if we are light. So by the way, as a good reminder to everybody, each and every one of us is a light. But we either decide on dim a light or keep the light shining. So what are you doing? If you're in survival mode, know your light is dim. And guess what? Some people are depending on that your amazing light. And so we are definitely this year want to just keep our light shining. The highest way you can even inspire people or inspire yourself is just to keep your light shining. Once your light is shining, your mission, you just do your things. Trust me, things that you don't even expect will happen. Things will just be good, things will just be following you just because your light is on it. So just imagine that you're walking on the street, and that street has two sides. One side there's light, the other side there's no light. Which side will you prefer to walk on? The side that there's light or the side that there's no light? Honestly, I'm brightest low. I would like to go where there's light. So I'll follow the light as far as leading to my direction. So I won't stumble and fall in any way. So once you keep your light shining, that's how good things will be attracted to you. That is just a simple explanation why good things will be attracted to you once your light is on. So one thing um I already said one thing I definitely do to recharge is taking a fast. When I see I am over one, I take a fast. It doesn't matter when, what month of the year, what time of the day, or how I have to do that, but I just take a fast. Another thing I definitely do, it's going back to the scriptures. I am a Christian, and I am just so blessed to say we are in a blessed generation. You know, when people talk about the Gen Zs, they talk about more the impressions. But I just want, if you, for those who joined early, the song I was playing, we're in a new generation. I just love that the lyrics of the song. I just love that because you have to sit back and check the way things were done in different areas. You know, let's just take a little bit where technology was 10 years ago. Some things we're struggling to do. You know, I remember like years back, we could not have a live session like this on Facebook with thousands of people you don't even know watching. It's amazing how things have made easy. Years back also, when I look in the business world, someone who have been doing business for a long time, imagine prospecting, how hard it was to prospect for a client to accept or um, attend, like for a client to buy your product or consume your product. It was a lot of work. You needed maybe to do the door-to-door prospecting, town to town, the work, pay advertising companies. But guess what? In this generation, you don't need to do all those things as a business person. You just need to make use of your social media, right? Are there some business people in the house? Now let's look at a little bit with evangelism. You know, can we check how many of us were able to access Bibles from our phones wherever we were? Let me say you're back, or like you want all the versions of the Bible, different languages. You want your Bible in French, in Creole, in Hebrew. How easy it is now for us to access those Bibles without us paying. Or you want to listen to your favorite preacher in the US and you are in Nigeria or you are in the United Kingdom. How easy is it now to listen to those people? So we live in an amazing generation that we are so just blessed that things are really, really accessible. People are accessible. Imagine like the person who called me this morning is a millionaire for those who know him. I won't call his name, but I was like, oh my God, I just imagine when I graduated from the university and I was just looking for somebody to give me just a recommendation like to get to somewhere. And I knew nobody. And now with LinkedIn, I'm connecting to professors, to doctors. So, guys, is it not amazing? So, this is just to say, indeed, in our time and in this generation, we have so many different and amazing ways we can recharge. Just know what works for you. That's what I always say. Just know what works for you. Many times people just want to copy what others are doing, but for me as a person, copying doesn't work well. So unless I'm copying from someone that is having the same priority order with me. So understanding that our journeys are different, and we have different needs. We are at different levels. Obviously, things you need now for recharge may not be working, but definitely the fasting for those who are spiritual, the fasting really helps a lot. And prayers, of course, bonding with like people. What people call the church is the building, but what I call the church is the people. So bonding with people who have the same belief like you, going to gatherings like that is another way that really more keeps my light shining. Like I I have learned that the most powerful thing that God has given us, a part of the Holy Spirit, is choice. You have to choose to keep the Holy Spirit in you active. You have to choose to follow what people are saying. You have to choose to sit to fast. You decide. It's a choice. It's not a must. You have to choose to sit today and come and listen to Lucy talking, or go and sit somewhere and drink just your beer, or things like that, or go where they're gossiping, or come and come to a platform like this is a choice. So those choices we make, that's what even influences if our lights are going to be shining or going to dim. So of course that's what it is. Um so that is not to say I have said all the things that we need to do for recharge. So those who are maybe driving now, just as the amazing people are in the comment section, whenever you watch this video, I encourage you to share with us what you do to recharge yourself, to recharge your light, to keep your light shining. Let's know. Life happens and people have different mechanisms, and we all can learn from each other, right? Awesome. So, okay, I have something very important on my PowerPoint here. Guess what? After some of us may have spent the whole of January listening to God, praying to God, asking God, we may spend the rest of the year, that's from February to December, listening to people's opinion. That's one thing that definitely dim a lot of our lights. Yes, God has told you what to do, but guess what? Self doubt. You don't even trust God. So you're going to, because God's voice is like so dim, it's not like that loud voice that thing that everybody's saying on the social media. So some of us after this January will still go back to those same mistakes of wanting to hear everybody's validation. Like it or not, I love family, but I'm telling you that sometimes when God gives you a message, you don't need to announce it to even your family. You have to start working, because guess what? The family loves you so much that they will not see some of the things. Imagine Jesus going to tell the mother that I'm going to be killed. That's been real. Imagine your child telling you that I'm going like that so they should kill me. He knew. He knew the time had reached. So that is to say, in order for us to fulfill our purpose, Sometimes we need to detach ourselves from blood, from physical attachments. That's one of the reasons, by the way, people fast is to be able to get to a level that you're not controlled by the things that happen physically or to your biological relationships. You want to have that direct time to talk spirit to spirit. So it's important we take our time to check that the things you're doing or you are planning to do, is it based on indeed what God told you or based on what is trending? Because of course social media is good, but guess what? It's also one of the biggest distraction we have this generation. Yes. It's not, I'm not saying it's a destructive tool, but like everything that we don't use properly control us, right? Anything you can't control controls you. So if you don't choose the people you listen to on the social media, of course, as more as you receive a particular type of information, that is what your brain works based on the information it has. Yeah. Yeah, so that's the function of the brain. So you have to choose, we all have to choose what we want to receive this year, the type of people we want to listen to, the type of things, environment we want to stay in. That has a lot to do with your life. And as I said, we are not going to do a lot of repetition because our page have done a good job in dropping amazing content on specific topic like how to choose the right environment, the right people. So you can just be going back, take upon yourself if you want to know more about those topics. Just go and take upon yourself. Like each day, I'm going to watch one or two videos from this platform, and I'm sure you're going to have all those questions. What you do while in the waiting room, because just as our brother talked about impatience, sometimes God tells you, I'm going to give you a child and you'll be a father of nation, but that is not going to happen in 2 days. It's going to happen maybe in 25 years, maybe in 30 years' time. Are you patient enough? What do you do while you're waiting? Do you give up on God? Do you give up on yourself? So that is what, those are some of the things. That mindset of not being able to go through the process, that mindset of not being able to stay focused is the reason some of our lights are dim. Happy weekend to you, Toji. Thank you for connecting. Personally, guys, there are ideas that God gave me years back, but I didn't trust myself. So I requested opinions from people, and trust me, they helped me to trust those ideas. They didn't help me to work on those ideas. They helped me to trust the ideas like, forget about those things, it's not going to work. Am I the only person? Are there some people who can relate to me? Will relate with me because of course I know I'm not the only person, but it's also fine that people don't want to own up, some people don't. So but for me, for real, like there are some things that I know when it comes to ideas, I get up each day in my life like that. I know each day I get up is with a new idea, but the persons I talk with may either help me to work on those ideas or make help me to trash them. So that is something we all can check. Who are you sharing your ideas with? Yeah. Who are you sharing? You may be in the right environment, you have the right ideas, but you are not sharing with the right people. So we all want to be very intentional about who we're sharing our ideas with this year if we want to keep our light shining. I have also realized that many of us always prefer to go where it's easy. Yes, like you know, I was just in the line, like I was thinking, like, what stopped me from working from on my own ideas? In all honesty, I have ideas. You have ideas. I'm not the only one. We all have ideas. What really stopped us from working on our own ideas? That's the question I'm asking everybody now. What stops you from working on that idea that only you have? Because like the way entrepreneurs or people in the business world think is totally different from the way employees think. Like for example, I was talking with this my mentor this morning. His mindset is totally different. Like he's an Igbo man, by the way. So he told me straight, like the way Igbo people think is different from the way people like other the majority of people in the world think. So when you stay with Igbo people, and I'm like, it's true because even the way you said, I got these questions, but I didn't have this type of answers. Like I just caught, like I had thousands of questions about concerning something. So I knew he could help me, and I've been praying like I have to get to him. And guess what? He called me himself. So I'm like, what? So that is just to say, We many times do what is easy, and guess what? Because all of us, not only you, even me, you guys, even me, I want those things that are easy. Because all of us want the things that are easy. Guess what? There's always traffic in that on that lane of easy. Because everybody wants to be there, right? Meanwhile, the lane where you're supposed to shine your light is still empty. So there's that lane that you can stand alone, and just that's why I see people that like, if you come to research, people who have patents, people who have, I'm not talking about grants is just like you're researching on something that the community see or the government sees valuable and they fund it. I'm talking about patents. Those who have patents are those who have tried to do something different, no matter the field, be it in technology, be it in science, be it in agri, whatever area you want to think about, environmental science, whatever field you want to think about, those who have those Nobel prizes, guess what? They just decide to do something or search on research on something no one is searching on. But guess what? Many times we want to go where the money is already flowing, where thousands of people are already working on. And we then complain that, oh my God, I'm not shining. This person is trying to press me, or this competitor is. But then when there's a lane that you can stand on alone. So my brother say yes, who you share your ideas is very important. It's a very important factor. Oh yes. Thank you for adding your voice to that. So guys, ask yourself today, that the reason you've not been shining, like, could it be because you've been trying to just be where you're comfortable? Yes, because let me give an example. You have this idea of producing chocolate. I come from a country, for example, that produce cocoa. But most of the chocolate we consume from that amazing country is imported. So let me assume you have this idea of producing chocolate, and you also have this concern that you may not have your job or you may not have money. So you decide that, okay, because I don't yet have money, and if I do this chocolate, it may take me 3 years or this amount of money to get to this point, to be able to make something out of this chocolate. So I decide, or you decide, to trash that your idea of doing chocolate. And another person who was in that same company that maybe you discussed that idea with decided to not only work on that your idea, but also look amazing people that can help the person have a chocolate factory. And guess what? Today that person's chocolate factory is yielding the person 10 million a month, and your salary is still 50K a month, 50,000 a month. So do you think it will this relate to many of us? Yes, of course you're comfortable doing what you're doing, but are you getting what you actually want to get? Think about it. And to me, when I look people in the business world, this is what I see. Many times people talk about this is a millionaire, but you don't talk about those things that went through the process. The fact that maybe they had ideas, or that idea, even most business people I know, the ideas they worked on, they took it from someone else. Yes, someone had the idea, and the person didn't have the mindset, the courage, the determination, the commitment to make that idea, the patience to make that idea a reality. And somebody just took it over like, it may take me 10 years to get to this point, but I'm going to do it. So I'm just saying in general that no matter where you are, your life depends on what you're doing. What we earn is dependent on the decisions we make. What how much time we have for ourselves, how far we travel each day, how much we grow is still dependent on us. God has given each and every one of us that unique power to do unique things. But we choose to do the something, and guess what? Of course, so much congestion, and we can't really flourish in the way we ought to be flourishing. Those who are into agriculture, I know something that when you're planting, there's a distance that when you're cultivating, there's always a distance that some of the measure to have the next crop. So imagine that that distance is being reduced. Like maybe a crop that you have to plant actually 100 centimeter apart, because of course they have roots, they need nutrients to grow. Because of congestion or you don't have a large space, you decide to cultivate that crops in just 10 meter or 10 centimeters apart. What do you think happen to it? They are not going to grow the way they're supposed to grow. You are not going to have the foods that you're supposed to normally have, the same quantity of foods. That's what happened to each and every one of us daily. Each time you see yourself just trying to do what everyone is doing, following what is trending, no, you are gradually dimming your own light. So yes, we all definitely want where we are comfortable, but we are not ready to patiently go through the process. So it's not a matter of what you dream to become. It's not a matter of what you've told God you want. But the question is, okay, my brothers say sometimes the biggest challenge is how to preserve our light. Oh my God, thank you so much. Yeah, how do we preserve our light? And that's why, guys, I encourage everyone go to that video we talked about waiting. It should be a year ago, but that's a video that I have parents, mothers calling me. I'm like, I love this particular video. Like, it was a lot to learn from. So I encourage everyone go to that video. What you do while you're waiting for something is very important. So like, how do you preserve a light? Many of us want to get so amazing things, and many of us feel it's God who is delaying. But meanwhile, it's us who are working on our own time. We don't know God's time, and so we are dimming our light. So my question to you: are you ready to do a different? Are you ready to focus on your same mistake because it's a mistake? And some people may have just not identified that it's a big mistake. You know, you want to be let me give an example. You want to you're a minister of God, you're a preacher in your church, and you're praying for God to give you that powers of healing. But you are not ready to go through whatever God tells you to do to get to that point of having the powers. And you just keep praying, God, give me healing powers. What I know, the way God works is, I've come to realize that to every person that God has given a testimony, God tested. There was a test before a testimony. Just imagine in the case of Daniel. You know, everybody, Daniel, even though I go to the valley of the shadow of death, I shall not, we all quote those Christians. But indeed, are you even ready to go to that valley of the shadow of death? That is the process. That's what we're talking about. So when my brother talked about preserving the light, that's just what I want us to picture. Imagine you going through that very dark situation, like after you fasted, like God, take me away from these oppressors, take me away from this situation. God instead, maybe you've been praying like, oh, your job, you're working 4 jobs, you're working overtime, yet at the end of the day, you are seeing debt, your account is empty, and you've been praying that God, take me away from this situation. Guess what? You had, unfortunately, another situation that instant one, in fact, wants you to go and borrow more money, and you're in this position. So what do you do in that time that you keep your life, still keep your faith? That is what that preservation. I want everybody to think that. How do you stay positive even in a situation like that? Imagine you're Daniel, because before somebody gets to a position that tells God that, oh, before a miracle, I realize that there's this, not after the test. You may be going through a testing period, but the moment that you get to submit that God, I just depend on you, is when your spirit has been provoked. Daniel was provoked before he fasted. Daniel didn't just get up and decide to fast. Something was happening that provoked his spirit to say, God, I want to hear you now. I want to hear about other person. Something with the situation of Hannah. Hannah had been barren, of course, right? But that particular day, she was just like, God, it can't be me. Like, she was provoked. So what am I saying? What do your own provocation lead to? Some people provocation and make them to backslide from the presence of God, right? Some people, when they get provoked, like things does not go the way they want. It has made them to look for alternative God or other gods, right? Some people provocation have made them to become destructive to their community, to their environment, to their self. So when my brother talked about sometimes the biggest challenge is how to preserve our light, I said, oh my God, that is it. So the biggest thing is not really what we are asking God for. It's not the fact that we want to grow, but it's what are we doing to make sure that our lights are preserved? Make sure that our lights are not being dim. Challenges are part of life, they're going to come. Of course, that's why when we talk about the wise virgins and the foolish virgins, it's not about the fact that it's just about lamb and light. I know some people may look it just as the physical lamb and the light, but it's just a matter of you are waiting for something, but what are you doing while waiting? Yes, of course, we all want to have amazing life, comfortable life, stuff like that. But what are you doing to make sure that happens? To make sure that whatever you pray for when it comes, you'll be able to manage it properly. You'll be able to use it properly. What are you doing? That is the question. So you and I, what are we doing? Not just you, what are we all doing? One of the things that make many of us to dim our light also is because we focus so much on the past. Some of you know, just like my country football, they used to play very well. But years now, we know they don't play the way they used to play. So like just these matches that were going on, hey, I am happy to see American people. Thank you, gracefully packaged. She's happy to have you connected today. You know, I used to like to watch football, but guess what? I don't like to watch football anymore. Why? Because I realized like the teams I like to watch, they focus so much on the glory they have, the past glory. Oh, we used to be the this and now you take a lot of games you're supposed to be serious, take it for granted. And that is the same thing I think a lot of times we do. Some people focus on, I'm coming from a very wealthy family. Your family is not you. Wherever God, even God took you, brought you from a carpenter's house, that is not your work. What is your own specific work? Thank you so much, sis. So, what is your own specific work? That is the question. Like, it's not about where you came from, but what are you doing? No, I remember back in secondary school, we had some friends that by the time I asked them, how much did you buy it? You'll tell my mother bought it. That how much it was imported. It's not like you want to know if it's important or not. The simple question is just you want to know the price, but they want to still brag. They want to still tell you that, oh, my family did it. So what am I saying? Sometimes we dim our own light by focusing on our previous glory or other people's glory. That is just a simple way in which we automatically dim ourselves. Like, yes, you're blessed to have amazing people. If you don't have, it's still a blessing, which means you are supposed to be that light. If you already have a light that is helping you, it means you're supposed to be the brightest or a brighter light, right? But imagine you focusing on where you came from, be it negatively or positively. Just focusing on that is a problem. Just the fact that you're not looking where you're going. Imagine you driving and turning your head, focusing on your back. What will happen? You're going to hit yourself. So, guys, we all this year we obviously want to shine brightest. I said brightest. English people, I know you come from it, but that is just I hope you get the message. We don't want to just keep shining brighter, but we want to be the brightest of us every day. We want to shine that brightest light every day. And so, in case you forgot or you didn't notice, you are watching Brightest Light, which is Brightest Low. So, amazing people, in conclusion, as I said, these sessions this year are not going to be very long. So, in case you are joining late, we are almost towards the end. And that is just to say, this year we want to keep our lamps in this set for this time, that we don't miss anything. And of course, we are bringing amazing people soon. We've been bringing, but we have some great people that I look towards having them with us. And people have been learning from. Like, one way we all can dim a light, which I'm going to talk about. But now, after all we have said, to conclude, now I know some people who didn't know how they could things they could do to keep their light shining, at least you have some things to say. So let me see the comment section. Matthew, welcome in, sis. Happy to have you. So in the comment section, people share with me, what do you think are some of the things we need in order to keep our light shining? We've talked about the ways. Now, the specific things we need in order to keep our light shining. So please share with us that in the comment section. Thank you for all those who have been keeping this comment section busy. Happy to have you all connected. So at least everybody, for those who didn't know what they could do, ways they could keep their light shining, if you didn't hear from me, at least read the comment section. And if you can't see them, because I know my brother Tikwa Pai is watching, I think Belgium, and I think he should watch it from Brightest. So unfortunately, if you're watching generally on Facebook, I can't know if it's on Brightest Low, but I think you should watch on from Brightest Low. That's my profile. Um, so, but he has shared a lot of things that I think for those who didn't have answers, you can still copy from him and just affirm it. Okay, thank you, boy. He says Belgium. He's watching from Belgium. Thank you. So he has shared some powerful things that if you didn't hear from me, at least you can read from his comments. That's just what I'm giving you tips where to go to. That's why it's important. If you're just following Brightest Low, there are people who drop comments on Brightest Low, and the people who drop comments on creative and independent mind. I'm someone who believe that if you want to change the world, just change people's mindset, the way people think. If people just change the way they think, trust me, this world will be something else. Just imagine everybody just gets up like, I just want everybody to be happy. That's all they think about. We want to work to help each other grow. That type of mindset. Just imagine everybody thinking like that. Oh my God, this world will not contain us. We need to extend. God will need to extend the earth. But of course, we need shakara people too. Somebody say when everybody is good, the things are not funny. The way is not fun. Okay. So yes, I'm just saying that, guys, in case you didn't have something to take home, check the comment section. But now, while we are doing that, we have to keep to time. That is what it is. That is what it is. So this time we want to really make sure that we are not it's not just about the number of how long we stay connected. We are not concerned about that. It's just being sure that the message is being passed and everybody indeed is going home with something, even me. So going straight to the point, guys. Maybe next time I'll have to see if I can share my PowerPoint for you all to see some amazing thing. So what are the simple things we need in order to keep our light shining? In order to keep our light shining, what are the things we need in order to keep our light shining? That is the question. In case you didn't join from the beginning, I'm going to just, they say repetition makes things permanent. I'm going to just repeat one thing we said at the beginning. We said at the beginning that the important thing we need to, first of all, in order to keep our light shining, first thing is to know the source of our light. And for my case, is God. Is to know God, is to understand God, understand God's word, and understand God's purpose for you. When you're able to understand that, now you get the other things I'm going to share that we all need. That is what works for me, by the way. You have to check yours if you're not a Christian. So you have to check what works for you. On knowing God, many times we want to know what God, the good hand of God, the good things God is doing. That's why how some of us biasly want to know God. But when I said knowing God, I want to be very precise to say everything about God. God is terrible. That's why I say God is terrible. God is not just the God that would, the same God that created, destroy, right? Once you are not obeying, there's destruction that comes, there's death that comes. So let's not just look the good part, let's look both. Once you understand God, you understand God's standard, you understand that the system and the world, we humans, we have a different way of thinking from God. Once you choose the right standard, that is the way you can keep your light shining. If you are using a wrong switch to put on a light, that light will not come on. So first thing, As I said, I'm repeating just the fact that the first thing for us to keep our light shining is obviously to know the source. And I add that choose the standard, choose the right standard we want to follow. Do you want to follow God's standards? Do you want to follow your own standards? Do you want to follow the world standard? Do you want to follow the community standard? Do you want to follow the social media standard? You know, social media has its own standard, by the way. I hope we all know that. Social media has its own amazing standard, but what standard do you want to follow? So before I proceed, I have a comment from my brother again, Tikapa, who is very active today, and I'm very happy and blessed to have him with us. One way to keep our light shining is to be careful with what we say. Our words indeed has power. There is power in the words indeed. The Bible says that the tongue is a restless evil full of deadly poison. We can speak life up and we can also speak our lives down. Powerful. Thank you so much. And that takes me to the next point, diligence. Diligence. It's the next. When you have God, you know God, you want to be very diligent in the way you do things, in the things you say, the way you say it. That is the next important thing. You know God, yes, it's important. You know God is your source. You have chosen to follow God's standard, or you have chosen to follow your own standard. The next important thing is diligence. So my brother saying, also consider your entertainment, where you go to, the music you listen to, and the movies you watch. Powerful. We all have that power of choice. You have to choose the movies you want to watch. I personally don't really watch movies now, but I guess what, I used to love movies. So I choose movies basically based on what message are they passing. That's where the type of movies I watch now. So tell me the message, and of course, you and we all have that freedom to choose the music we want to listen to, right? Nobody know what you are listening to in your house. You may play a gospel song when you're driving, or you are with friend, you are with friends, but at the end of the day, what other songs do you play when you are in your room and no one is watching? It has a lot to do with your light. We can't pretend. We can hide from man, not from God. So thank you so much, bro. I appreciate that. So I said diligence. The next thing is faith. First, choosing the right standard. If you want to work based on your own standard, or you want to work based on social media standard, you want to work based on the system, what they say this is what you have to do. When you move to America, you must do this. When you move to Africa, this is what you must do. When you're 30 years, this is what you must do. When you're 15 years, this is what you must do. You have to choose which one you want to actually follow, because trust me, there are a lot of standards out there, and sometimes we don't even know the one we're following. We just follow what the majority say, or what is working, what biology say, what statistics says. You want to be very sure and tell yourself the truth, like, is this what I'm following? And you want to be very diligent. That's why I said diligence is the next, and that goes in line with something that my brother said, talking about the tongue. You see, your words should be sorted. You don't just ditch out anything because you feel angry. You feel like because you're angry, you have to say everything. Sometimes we all do that, but it doesn't mean it's right. The fact that you're right doesn't mean, or the fact that the other person hurts you doesn't mean you have that right to say anything anyhow. And he also said use social media wisely. People watch everything you write. Thank you so much. And what you do on social media, in one way or the other, your activities influence people. That's a reason I am on social media active, because I like to still have my space, do my things on my lane. But I tell myself the truth is that a lot of toxicity is out there, and mostly for the young ones, people who don't yet have that level of discernment to know this is for me, this is not for me. They pick a lot of the negative ones, and that's why I tell myself that I choose to be a light. And every comment I post, I make sure that if a 2 years old child is reading that, it should have an impact, positive impact to that person. So I just encourage you watching me that think about that each time you post something. It may be your food, why you posting it, whatever you're posting, take some minutes to reflect, like, why am I posting this thing? Is it to entertain? And what if it's my daughter? What if it's my son tomorrow watching this? How is it going to help this person? So much I appreciate that, bro. That's mostly in the social media data is very important. So yes, indeed, that is still under diligence, guys. Let's be diligent in whatever we're doing. So the next point is faith. Faith is an antidote of fear. Generally, as humans, anytime you want to do new things, if you're very real yourself, you have some doubt in you. Am I going to make it? I, for one, there are things I want to do that I've not really started. Why? I've taken 1 year to really like, am I supposed to do it? Like, is it really what I'm supposed to do? That doubt, it's in each and every one of us. When we want to do something new, going into a new relationship, going to a new business, going to a new place, going to a new environment, meeting new people, you don't know sometimes what they're going to say, how they're going to take you, how they're going to treat you. We have those doubts naturally. But the question is, are we going to let that doubt generate fear or faith in us? That is the question. Is that doubt in you that you have whatever you want to do? For example, you can see some people doing things. I'll give a typical example. I, for one, years back, something about like the cryptocurrency, something I've never studied, but I didn't see it as a scam. I just don't believe in fast money. Generally, I don't. So I believe in understanding the process of things. So I have people, a lot of friends close to me who were traders, and guess what? They're still traders today. We were trading with crypto, and they were doing good, and they're still doing good in that area. And I have these other people telling me, oh, I've lost millions. I'm talking as back as 2016, 17, or 15 even. People like as back as that time, not now. That now maybe that time I just checked of recent, check what Bitcoin, the worth of one Bitcoin was at that time, and what the worth of one Bitcoin is now. So and guess what? I have this other set of people that today they still say cryptocurrency is a scam, networking is a scam. So when I look people like that, I just see fear. One thing fear can do or doubt can do to us is preventing us from maybe the next thing I'm going to talk about, knowledge and virtue. So fear is one of the things that reduce our faith, and the way we can really overcome fear is increasing our faith. For me as a person, before I do anything I doubt, I go to God, read my Bible, scriptures, God. And good thing is, I'm going to share this. Good thing I've learned is anything I posted on my social media, anything you want to know, if you're a Christian, read your Bible yourself. Read it and let God, let the Holy Spirit teach you. Read it. So for me, that's what changed my mindset about things. Anything I doubt, I retreat, take out time, reflect, pray, let God teach me. And that has been working so perfectly. Because everything for me has advantages and disadvantages to me as a person. For you, you may not agree, but that's me. Everything. So I want to always understand what is risky about it. I don't want you to just know the sweet part of things. How can I lose in this thing? How can this be detrimental to me? How can this destroy my faith? How can this be a discouragement to me? So when I get the two sides of things, you help me. So I'm just saying that we live in a world that things are changing, and have to keep changing. You have to keep changing positively, to be precise, not just changing. We all have to, if you want to keep your light shining in a world that is changing, the way forward is to keep improving yourself. And one thing we want to increase is our faith. How do you increase your faith? Simple question. How can we increase your faith? Maybe people share us that in the comment section. As I said, these are just like the roundups. So if you didn't get the first part, so the next thing is a virtue. Virtue. The next thing, once you're increasing your faith, as I said, is going to be the next. If you're this person who is intentional increasing your faith, trust me, your light will keep shining. If you see somebody who's doing well, as mostly if you say you're a Christian, the way a Christian is going to prosper in everything you see is because the person is spending more time to build the faith. It's not because the person is working harder than any person. That's the truth. If you choose to say, okay, you want to work, you want to make money, the money part is different for, it's just you understanding how money works. So In general, whatever you want to increase, if you want to increase your faith, dedicate more time to spend with things of the faith. This can be with set things like you praying, hearing God yourself. No, it's sad to know that in this generation, that see people who just depend on what their pastor tell them. There are people who only open their Bibles on Sunday. All the scriptures that you don't. You need to sit at the point that you sit in the car, and God tells you to go and open a particular scripture I've never opened before. That's what I'm talking about. You have to be in the point that somebody says something and you doubt, and God just gives you a scripture, or God tells you something that, or God tells you get up from your bed and go to this place. So that's what faith does. So if we all go in that area, trust me, you will not waste your time in things that dim your life. Next thing after virtue is knowledge, and this is what personal I really want to talk about. When I talk about crypto, it's just to say ignorance is a problem. When we don't know about things, I've seen that people who are fast to call things scam are people who are confused about money. Money is something that sometimes Christians don't like to talk about, but me, I've chosen to be one of those who talk about everything, everything, as in everything. So when it comes to money, one of the reasons that some of us are dim is because we feel we don't have enough money. Our focus is just money now. Our priority has shifted from maybe having time to hear God before we do anything, but rather to just go to direction where there's money. So that's why I talk about money. Because when you sit back and check, like, how do poverty affect us? Does it mean that when you're poor, you have more faith, or your faith may be weaker? Things like that. So money is one of the things that some of us think is our number one priority. I asked early this year on my WhatsApp status, I put like, what is that one thing you really need? My inbox was full with money, 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 money. I'm like, what if God gives you that money you want and tell you you're dying in 1 minute? We used to want money. I'm sure some people are not thinking that direction. What if God gives you that money now? And so, okay, in the rest of your life, you'll be blind, cripple, and deaf. We used to want money. So, knowledge is important. That's why I talk about knowledge. So, knowledge is taking our time to really learn things. A lot of times, we want things, but we don't want to learn what it's all about. We want to have faith, we want to be children of God, but we don't sit back to say, what is really this journey all about? We want to make money, but we don't sit to say, what is money? Is money the paper, the things we have in a bank account, or is it just an idea? Is it a concept? So knowledge is important. If we want to keep shining, we have to keep increasing our knowledge. And great people, are we together? So another thing is the next thing to keep our light shining. You know, the people who are really intentional about making us getting on our nerves. Can some of us relate like that? Like there are people who their own work is just to make sure that you're not happy. There are people who are very intentional to make sure that they bring you down. Like they are very intentional, not like they are doing it hiding it. They are very determined to make sure that you're not happy. So, but the question I have for you and for all of us, what do you do when you have those people around? Do you become as mad, as crazy, as angry as they are? So, the next thing is self control. Many of us, we have been blessed in different ways, but trust me, because of the lack of self control, we've done everything. We've done everything that we felt we feel as to do it. Like, oh, this is what I feel as to do. You've done it. No, you see, for example, you see a lady or a guy who did not have anything, they had a relationship with somebody and they decided to work so hard together. And by the time the money came, they want more. They don't want just one relationship. They want relationships. Or you see somebody who was not a drunk. When God blessed the person with a good job, the person has been praying for. What happened? The person became alcoholic. So we can go this on and on. Drugs, people were not on drugs, and when the fame came, of course, everything, they have control of everything, so they can do everything. So indeed, one thing people can get to the top. I always one thing I like, one quote I learned from Mr. Tyler Perry is that he said, "It's not a matter of climbing; and how to climb and sustain. And another thing with consistency, that is from Mr. Washington, Denzel Washington. He talks about consistency. Like, all of us can make it to the top, but what makes us to have those successful and good results and create that impact is to consistently do the right thing. Yes, before you get what God, you are asking God, and now some of us are very humble, eh? But trust me, they say you want to know the true attribute or character of somebody when the person has it all, not when the person is broke. And another person also said, for those who are already having it, wait when they are broke to see how they're going to behave. Those who don't have, wait when they have, you know that true character. Those who have, wait when they are broke, and you see how they're going to behave. So self-control is the next thing. Um, Perseverance, I'll not talk much because when we started this live session, our brother talked about perseverance. And some of us have, we have told God what we want, and we have also given God time. So we want God to work on our time. So if God does not work on our time, what happens? We give up and He said, and those are the first people. I've noticed that most of the people who call everything on earth scam are that are not patient. People who lack patience, who cannot persevere to go through the process. So perseverance is one of the things we all need to keep shining. Godliness. Godliness is the next thing. You know, if you see a good person, the good person is always going to have people to help. You know, people say, oh, you can help some people, and sometimes the people that you've helped, they'll bring you down, of course. But if you're this person who don't help for gratification, trust me, if you're just a godly person, you're just obeying what God, you're just like in the case of Zachariah, the Bible states that he was this person who was just doing his work as a priest. He was godly. And guess what? Even when God told him at the age he was that you're going to have a child, what happened? My grandfather did not believe. And that's why he was dumb, right? Because he did not believe. Like, at what age? That is to say, he was not focusing that because he's doing good, he's godly, God is going to just be giving me everything he wants. He was just being the good person, doing the good things. So I'm saying that if you're that person to have that mindset of just doing what is godly, what God wants you to do, trust me, God will surprise you. God will definitely surprise you. And so your life will obviously never be dim by anyone or anything. The next thing is brotherly kindness. It's brotherly kindness. You know, there's so much blessing in giving. How many of us have noticed that when you give, like you're so happy, like one of the messages that I receive like every day on my phone is thank you so much. Thank you so much. Not thank you. Thank you so much. There's emphasis. And not because I have it much, not because I give a lot, but I just believe once you're able to provide whatever you call leading solution, helping people in any little way you can, not necessarily share money. I know when they talk about help, people always narrow it down to just helping. Let me give an example. You are on your way to work and you met this lady who is heavily pregnant, and the lady is waiting for Uber and crying, and you could help the person to just give a ride. And you did that, and possibly you went 5 minutes late to work. Tell me, is that is that a blessing to that person who was waiting the Uber? Maybe the Uber was delayed and the person was not sure when the Uber was going to arrive. Or you're this person who was inside a bus, public transport, and you met this kid that just got missing for 2 days and the kid has not eaten, and you had some food in your bag. You gave that photo to the kid. What do you think will happen? Will that kid be forever grateful or not? So, guys, the next thing is kindness. To whom much is given, much is expected. Many times we want to have it all, before we help. We want to have it all before you're kind. Also, stay in the line of kindness, talking about your words, which Aboda said minutes ago. Somebody may be so discouraged. I have about like 3 occasions at least that people, I don't know, for some reason I just called somebody, or maybe somebody was talking to me, and I had the case that somebody told me that the doctor said he was going to die in few days if he did not take paracetamol. I can't forget that one. I was like, since when was paracetamol like a prevention of death? I'm like, how does that even make sense? So what I just knew, I told the person the truth. I'm like, paracetamol is this is the active component in this compound, and this is all it does. It does not cure anything, just help you from this and that. And so forget about whatever your doctor told you. I don't care to know who the doctor is, how long he studied, but not to say doctors are not doing an awesome job. But just to say that sometimes people will see some information that they're in a position that they are already broken, and just a word, whatever you say that is good, may be a source of life for them at that moment. So our words indeed, kind words to be precise, can bring life and light to so many people and to us ourselves. So being kind to other people, the people you help on your way going up may be the same people you help that will help you when you're down. And I can attest to that so many times. I think I've shared that for me, I've had situation of tabs in so many situations. I've entered wrong taxis. I've been in all my a couple of my hostels and thieves visiting me in the night and going with my phones, going with stuff like that. And I had one of these situations where my phone was taken, and I had also to a point empty all my accounts. So all my bank accounts were empty. And a cousin of mine gave me his phone. That was an act of kindness that I can't forget. You get it? So I'm just saying that we are indeed that cousin know that even it's now, if I have something, he has a struggle. We always respond very fast to him. So that is to say, just be kind. Just be kind. Once we are kind to people, those people also will be a source of light to help us when our world is getting dark or when darkness is approaching our end. And my last message is often the greatest. There's how can we all obey the 10 commandments and yet not know the most important of it all? Love. Just love. We live in a world that is just like everything is all about business, all about money, or it's all about what you get. It's not what you're offering. So I want to encourage and remind us that the greatest thing in life is giving, and love is the greatest thing we all can give. Just loving people unconditionally. Don't love people just because they are from the same tribe with you. They are from the same parents with you. They have the same skin color with you. They attend your church. It's funny to know that some Christians that if you don't attend their church, they feel like you are not supposed to be the same places with them. It's unfortunate. It's sad, but love is the greatest. And if we love indeed, we will see a light indeed shining like never and ever before. And for those who want to know where I got, so this year also, there are a couple of things I want to do. I'm going to be sharing most of my messages with crypto backends. Why am I going to do that? Because I started this year and I have decided to make my videos short. I have also decided to make sure that I am not ashamed of the standards I'm using. To make sure that my standards, so that if you are not following my standards, you should know. If you're following, you should also know. So of course, I got this message was inspired from Second Peter, from verse 1. You can read up to 11. So this is where we can say we have an end for the day. I hope we all will enjoy it and be blessed. So yes, our lights can be shining and keep shining brighter if we understand the source and indeed we stay close to the source. And all things I just shared are things that help us to stay close to the source. And of course, I don't want to quote so many scriptures. It's not a Bible class. So, and I hope you all know, if you didn't know, for me, the most inspiring book, people who always ask me, which book do you read? My most inspiring book. I read a lot of books with regarding science, life, regarding business investments, as you already know, that I'm also an entrepreneur. Um, but one book that really inspired everything I do is the Bible. And yes, after it all, that's maybe going to be, or most of the time, you're always going to have the scriptural backing. So if I forget, guys, help me to stay consistent. So if I forget to share my scriptural backings, let me know. So thank you all who have watched us till this time. And for those who were cooking while watching, make sure that when you watch this video, see share with us your thoughts, share with us what you use to stay, to keep your light shining, and that we all shall continue to keep our light shining as individuals, as a family, as a community, as a nation, as a continent, as a people. So stay blessed. See us all same time next week. And don't forget, in case you didn't follow or you didn't subscribe, we encourage you to do that so that you don't miss any of our amazing sessions. Good things coming all. We want to all keep our light shining. Bye, Blue. So goodbye, everybody. Wishing you a blessed weekend and a blessed February, the month of love. Let's not just expect love, let's share love. Let's not just expect gifts, let's also be gifters too. Let's not only have the open hands, let's also give the close hands. Eh? So let's go all in love and enjoy the weekend and the month. See us next week, and also stay connected. We always try our best to send other short videos to keep our light shining. We share different things, but shorter videos come during the week. So just keep an eye on that. You're always going to have shorter videos on specific topic. Like I have a video that is already made that is going to be talking about the lenses you use, like what you see. That sometimes people say things based on what they are seeing, which you may not understand that there are different perspectives. So I'm not going to talk about that video now, but I'm just saying keep your eyes open and stay connected on all our pages and platforms so that you don't miss anything. Stay blessed.